Happy Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jason Gorenstein. This is our Hatha Yoga Level 1 class. I hope that you all are having a wonderful morning today, wherever this practice meets you. So this is our Hatha Yoga Level 1 class. It's a class for beginners. Anybody can participate in the class, but typically for beginners. And our class will go until roughly 7:10 today. So my apologies for the slight delay today, just a little bit delayed in getting started, but we are here and ready to begin. So without further ado, let us begin our practice. We will begin lying down on our backs with our knees bent, feet about hip-width distance apart. Let the arms extend out to your sides and allow the palms to face the ceiling. So without further ado, I will be joining you in today's practice. Okay. So, as you continue to begin, just find your way into a position in which you're lying down on your back, your knees are bent, your feet are about hips-width distance apart, and you're closing your eyes. And as you continue to breathe here, just feel the shoulder blades moving down the spine. Let the knees move in towards each other. Let the feet be apart. And just begin to feel your breath here. So start to notice your inhalations and your exhalations off the tip of the nostrils. And this is a great way for us to begin our practice together, because this allows for us to begin to observe our bodies and our breath. You can observe your feet, you can observe the tailbone, the pelvis, you can observe the shoulders, you can observe the head and the neck. Observing both arms, and just allowing that attention to be back in your breath. So oftentimes when we come into our practice, our breath is our first point to start from. Good, and as you continue to maintain focus on that breath, hug your right knee into the chest. So the right knee hugs into the chest. Just begin to allow both elbows to release down to the mat. Feel the shoulders releasing down. Center chest lifts slightly. Back body is long here. And as you exhale, release the right knee down. Just hug your left knee into the chest. So again, you're noticing the length in the body. So even here, even though we are having our left knee hugged into the chest, you still notice the lengthening along the left side of the hip, both shoulders, and the neck. Good, and again, you're going to hug the right knee in as you release the left foot on down. This time, if you'd like, you can release the left leg all the way forward towards the front of the mat. Left toes are flexed, right toes are flexed, and breathe here. So your left leg is long this time. And as you lengthen through the left leg, you're continuing to draw the right knee in towards the right elbow, right shoulder. You're breathing here into the right side of the body as well as the left side of the body. You'll hug the left knee into the chest, and you'll change again. So once again, as you change here, flexing through the right foot, drawing or hugging that left knee into the chest, and breathing here. So as we breathe here, maintain attention or awareness in that extension of the left outer hip. So that left outer hip is moving away from us. However, the left knee is still moving towards the left shoulder. The right foot is flexed, the right thigh is heavy. And breathe here. And again, we're going to hug the right knee into the chest. You're going to take your left foot, place it on down. Take hold of a strap. If you don't have a strap, you'll take both hands behind the back of your left leg, and you're going to extend your right leg up towards the ceiling, rather. So both hands come rather behind the back of your right leg, and just extend your right leg up towards the ceiling here. You could keep your left foot down on the mat. You could extend your left leg straight here, and just begin to breathe as you press the right thigh away from you. Draw both shoulders down towards the mat and breathe here. And let's do the same thing to the left side. So you're going to take the left leg into the chest one more time. Extend the left leg up towards the ceiling here and breathe. Maybe you extend the right leg forward. Maybe you keep the right knee bent. Just breathing into the back of the left leg. See that the left back body is growing long. The left thigh is moving away from us. The left calf is actually moving towards the left shin. However, you keep pressing the left thigh away, so that's what allows for the knee to remain in a lengthened position here. And exhale. Release that foot on down. Hug both knees into the chest. Good. And then from here, you're going to rock the body either forwards and backwards, or roll onto a side and begin to press your way up. We're going to start in a cross-legged seated position here. So come into a cross-legged position. Bring the hands into the center chest. We're going to start with the sound Om, just a pretty formal way to start a yoga class. So lengthen through the chest. Feel both side ribs drawing up to the armpits. Feel both hip bones releasing down towards the mat. Feel the inner legs releasing, and allow the center chest to lift up. If you feel ready, you can join me. Take a deep breath in. Releasing the chin towards the chest, lifting the head, gently opening the eyes. Let's begin our practice. So we're going to come into tabletop pose. And tabletop pose is a very formal way to start our practice. We spread through the fingers here, and we see that all 10 fingers are making contact with the mat. So this includes the pinky fingers, it includes the thumbs. It also includes the middle fingers, the index, and the ring fingers. So once you begin to feel all 10 fingers making contact with the mat, just begin to observe the knees moving back so that the knees are directly under the hips. This is called tabletop pose. We hug the belly in here and we breathe. And as you continue to breathe here, you're noticing once again the contact points on the ground. The backs of the feet, the shins, the knees, and then once again the hands, the palms, and the fingers. And as you continue to breathe here, you'll round the spine here, releasing the head all the way down towards the mat. Good. And as you inhale here, you'll peel up the chest, the heart, the sternum, and lengthen on forward. Looking up. As you exhale here, rounding through the spine, releasing that head on down. Allowing the middle back to lift on up. And again, drawing the chest forward, drawing the heart forward, and lengthening through the sternum here. One more time as you exhale, rounding through that pelvis, tailbone draws down towards the knees, belly hugs in, head releases all the way down towards the mat. And again here, inhale, lengthening through the chest, the heart, the sternum. Good. So taking those toes down to the mat, keep spreading through the fingers here. Press the fingers forward, press the heels back, downward facing dog pose. So as you take downward facing dog pose here, release the head on down towards the mat. See that the fingers are lengthening towards the front of the mat. See that the heels are lengthening towards the back of the mat. And as you breathe here, you're feeling the shoulders moving up the back body as you continue to lengthen the thigh bones to the back of the room. So shoulder blades are continuing to move up towards the hip bones as you press the heels back towards the back of the room. Good. Then from here, you'll shift forward, come to a push-up pose. Lower the knees down to the mat, and then lower the chest on down. We're going to find our way into child's pose. So release the head on down. Take the hands behind the back, palms face the ceiling, and close the eyes here. So child's pose is a pose we can come back to throughout our practice. This is like a pillar, a major pillar in our practice, child's pose. And again, you're going to take the hands forward of the chest. You're going to press down through the fingers. You're going to lift up through the chest, heart, and sternum here. And as you exhale one more time, press on back for downward facing dog pose. So again here, we're just beginning to become aware of our body. And downward facing dog is a representation. It's also very similar to that of a mountain. So some of the classical variation of downward facing dog pose is also referred to as mountain pose. So your fingers are lengthening forward to the front of the mat, while your heels are lengthening back to the back of the mat. So you can feel your body stretching in opposite directions here. And that's very important in this pose. The belly draws in, but you feel the arms stretching forward and you feel the legs stretching back. And then from here, let's begin to walk our feet forward towards our hands. And you could always walk your hands back towards your feet as you inhale, lengthen halfway. As you exhale, fold here. Release the head down. Just release all the way down towards the mat. Good. Take the hands to the hips. Press down through the feet. Inhale. Peel up the chest. Find your way to standing. And as you find your way to standing, we're going to come into Tadasana. This is called mountain pose. Standing mountain pose, Tadasana, also referred to as Samastitihi, which is like strengthening pose. And as you breathe here, just start to feel into your body. So our practice often begins here in this pose called Tadasana. And Tadasana is a way that we can begin to observe, once again, just like on the ground, various parts of the body. So you want to feel the toes lengthening forward to the front of the mat. You want to feel the heels lengthening back to the back of the mat. See that the calves are moving towards the shins. See that the thighs are moving towards the hamstrings. Feel the buttocks drawing in towards the pelvis. Feel the belly drawing in towards the spine. Allow the chest to soften in towards the rib cage. Allow the shoulders to release down the back body. So if you notice here, as you go back and forth, every part of the body is moving into opposite actions. So calves are moving forward, thighs are moving back. That's an opposite action. Pubis is moving forward, and the belly is moving in. Opposite action. The chest is also moving in as the shoulders move back. So it's kind of, as these counteractions are happening together, they help us to create what we call anatomical alignment in the body. We're going to begin to move through Ardha sun salutations, which are half sun salutations here. So as you feel ready, inhale, float the arms up above the head. Raise the fingers up towards the ceiling, lengthen through the fingers. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold all the way forward. Inhale, peeling up the chest, heart, and sternum here. As you exhale, fold forward again. Inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling, lengthen through the fingers. As you exhale, bring the arms to the sides, palms face the front of the room. And again, inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling, maybe the palms touch. As you exhale, forward fold here. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, folding again. Inhale, raise the arms up towards the ceiling, lengthen through the fingers here. And as you exhale, taking the arms back down and to the sides. So, our first standing pose is going to be Utthita Trikonasana. Our first standing pose will be Utthita Trikonasana. So as you feel ready, take a wide stance out with your legs. And you want to see that your feet are parallel here. So it's very important that the feet are facing one another. They should be like a mirror. If you were to take a line and draw it straight down your body, the left and the right sides of the body, they're identical. Ideally, they're identical. And as you continue to breathe here, you're still paying attention to that idea of Tadasana here. So the feet are still lengthening forward. The calves are still moving into the shins. The thighs are still moving into the hamstrings. The buttocks are drawing in. Belly's drawing in. Chest is softening and the shoulders are moving back. Take the arms out to the sides here. This is called Urdhva Hasta Padottanasana, which is feet extended, arms extended pose. So very simple. It's just feet and arm extended. A lot of the yoga poses, they're named in ways that are very simple. And again, you're going to just extend here. So now, as you press through the feet, first we start with our alignment. So we already have our feet where they need to be. We already have our arms where they need to be. The palms are in line with the shoulders. The feet are extended out of the legs. The belly is drawing in as the crown of the head lengthens here. Now we have our stabilization. Our stabilization begins where we begin to shift the weight out from our inner feet to our outer feet. So you may begin to feel the inner legs lengthening here. You may begin to feel the pubis drawing up all the way to the navel. You may begin to feel the navel drawing all the way up towards the sternum. And you may be able to feel the sternum drawing up to the crown of the head. Then we elongate. Our elongation has to do with elongating all the way through our legs and through our fingers here. Now you'll notice this is a fairly simple pose here. However, we're holding the pose. So when we hold a pose, it changes the dynamic of the pose. An easy pose, like Urdhva Hasta Padottanasana, extended arms and legs pose, becomes a challenging pose over some time. And then let's take our feet together. Let's step on in. Good. We'll take Tadasana again. All right. So I did promise Trikonasana, so we will move there. But we're just going to move in steps. Continue to press through the feet. Continue to see that the toes are lengthening down and forward to the front of the mat. Arches of the feet are lifting. Calves are moving forward. Thighs are moving back. Buttocks is drawing in. Belly is drawing in. Chest is softening. And the trapezius muscles are moving down the spine. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana pose here. Raise the arms up above the head. So as you continue to lengthen here, the arms are lifting up from the shoulders. Now, oftentimes when we lift the arms up and above the head, we may lose contact with the feet. So can you see that the feet are lengthening forward to the front of the mat? Good. Calves continue to move towards shins. Thighs continue to move towards hamstrings. Buttocks continues to draw in towards the pelvis here. And then as you exhale, release the hands all the way down and out to the sides. Palms face the front of the room. Now take the hands to the hips. Step your feet wide apart here. And once again, just begin to see that there's evenness in both of those feet. Again here, so our feet, our legs are extended. Now we're going to begin to change the pose. So now that we have parallel in the feet, we're going to turn the left foot in through the heel. We're going to turn the right leg out through the top of the thigh crease. So the feet turn out. Now the right foot is parallel to the edges of the mat. The left foot is slightly off perpendicular. So it's like at an angle, maybe about 10 degrees from the horizontal plane of the heel. So this is important because once the hips change this direction, you'll notice that the pelvis is at an angle now. The pelvis is now facing diagonal to the room, which is important. This actually keeps the hips in a stable alignment here. So as we feel ready, you're going to once again begin to feel into those feet. And this is called Parsva Hasta Padottanasana, or side hands and extended foot pose. So as you feel ready here, you're going to press down through the left heel. You're going to press the left heel back. Draw through the left heel. You're still going to take the left calf into the left shin, but you're going to press the left thigh back here so that your leg is strong. With the right leg, you're going to continue to lengthen through those toes. So the toes are soft here. The right calf is most certainly moving in towards the right hamstring here. So the knee bends a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. Then the right thigh begins to rotate back as well as the right hip. Now draw the arms out to the sides. This is called Prasarita Padottanasana, with our arms extended out to our sides. Once again here, arms are extended out to the sides. We start with the feet, so notice that your feet are pressing down. Feel the four corners of the feet. So especially even those right toes, you have to observe them touching the ground. Then you feel the calves drawing forward, you feel the thighs drawing back. So that's what activates the legs. Now with the hips are drawing in. So the left buttocks is drawing in, the right buttocks is drawing in, and the pelvis is in a somewhat transverse plane. It's turned slightly. And then with the arms are extending out. So your left hand is extending towards your left heel, your right hand is extending towards your right heel. And you're breathing here. Can you keep the arms up? We're just going to turn our feet in, feet to parallel. See if you can do this, and then turn your feet to the opposite side. So you're just keeping your arms where they're at, but you're turning your feet here. See if you can pay attention to those feet, the alignment of the feet. So the left toes are pressing down, the right heel is pressing down. The right foot is turned in, the left foot is perpendicular with the mat. See that you're drawing your right arm back so that the right and left hips are on the same plane. So the left hip sometimes is lower than the right hip here as you continue to lengthen through both sides of the chest. Let's take those hands to the sides once again, and let's step those feet back together. So again here, palms face the front of the room, chest is lifting, lengthen those fingers all the way forward. Calves are moving towards shins, thighs are moving towards hamstrings, buttocks is drawing in and also lengthening down to the mat. Belly's engaged here. Chest, sternum is softening here. So you can feel the chest muscles softening, and the trapezius muscles or the shoulder blades are moving down the spine. So the arms are just lengthening from the tops of the shoulders all the way down to the thumbs. Crown of the head is in line with the pelvis. That's anatomical alignment. As you feel ready, hands come to the hips again, step the feet wide apart. Turn your right foot out, turn the left foot in, be here for a moment. See that left heel presses down, see that right ball of the foot presses down. Arms are extending out to the sides. Now from here, continue to glide the right side of the chest forward, continue to draw the left hip down. Glide on forward here, glide on forward, press to the right ball of the foot. Release the right hand down the leg, lengthen the left arm up towards the ceiling here. So as you press that left heel down, draw the left thigh back and begin to lengthen the left side of the chest up towards the ceiling. Draw the right shoulder in towards the midline of the body. Continue to lengthen up through the left fingers here. So the left fingers lengthen up and you're breathing. This is called Uttita Trikonasana, triangle pose. Sometimes we use a block here. So start with the feet. See that the feet are both pressing down. Usually there's more weight in the right heel. So that's one reason why we bend the right knee slightly. You don't want more weight to be in the right heel than in the right foot. You want there to be evenness in the right heel and the right foot. By bending the right knee, you start to bring evenness into that leg. Secondly, the right thigh draws back. As the right thigh draws back, the left hip turns down. So when the left hip turns down to the mat, you may feel like the chest needs to turn down to the mat. It's not the case in this pose. The chest continues to turn up because the abdominal muscles are hugging in. And you're softening through the top of the chest here. Let the head release back towards the back of the mat as you breathe here. Good. And then from here, as you feel ready, inhale, float that left arm up. Spin the right foot in. We're going to take the other side of the pose. So arms are out to the sides. Lengthen through those fingers. Turn the right leg in. Turn the left leg out. See that there's a light bend in that left knee and begin to hinge the hips. So the left hip is drawing back. The right hip is drawing forward here. Release the left hand on the left shin. Extend the right arm up towards the ceiling here. So as you continue to breathe here, press down through the feet, press down through the heels, and continue to lengthen through those right fingers. Right outer heel draws back, right hip draws down. Continue to breathe here as you lengthen through both sides of the chest. So here, the calf, the left calf is moving into the left shin. You can feel the left thigh drawing back to the back of the room. Wrap the left outer tricep in. So now we feel this lengthening actioning happening along the back body. We have to come back to the legs. Starting with the feet, see that there's evenness in both feet. Then begin to come to the shins and see that your left calf is drawing forward towards the left shin. The right calf is also drawing forward, but the thighs are both drawing back. Because the thighs are drawing back, that creates a strong right leg, creates a strong left leg. Keeping the legs strong, begin to extend your chest from your torso. So your left side of your chest is drawing forward towards the left armpit. And that's a really important reason why the left palm or left shoulder is spinning back, because it allows the left side of your chest to move on forward. So from here, now on the back body, you can feel both shoulder blades lengthening out to the fingers. Let the belly draw in. Let the pubis begin to zip up all the way to the navel. Let the navel zip up to the sternum. Let the sternum zip up to the crown of the head. Inhale, float that right arm up. Turn both feet back to parallel, and then step those feet back together. So we come back into standing pose here. And we always come back to this standing pose, and the reason for that is it's an observation of the body. We can note what parts of the body are active, what parts of the body are not active. So it's a way for us to begin to observe there's activeness here, there's not activeness here, and that allows for us to maintain our alignment. We're going to come into a pose called Utthita Virabhadrasana 2. So as you feel ready here, you're going to take your hands to your hips again, and you're going to step your feet wide apart. So as you step your feet wide apart, once again, our feet are parallel. Our feet are wide apart. They're about 4 feet apart. Some of us maybe even 5 feet apart. And you're once again noticing the lengthening of the tops of the toes to the front of the mat. There's evenness in the feet here. You can feel the calves drawing towards the shins. You can feel the thighs drawing back towards the hamstrings. The buttocks is drawing in. Belly is hugging in. So you can feel the zipping up action. This is kind of interesting. It's like a zipping up from the pubis all the way to the navel, from the navel all the way to the sternum, from the sternum all the way to the crown of the head. So you can kind of feel that active line of energy in the body. Arms are out to the sides. So we'll take the arms out to the sides here. We'll spin both feet over once again. So this is triangle feet. Our feet are still in triangle. And from here, I changed my mind. We're going to come into triangle one more time. So shift that right hip back, take the left hip forward, and raise the left arm up towards the ceiling. So as we come into triangle this second time, continue to see that the feet are lengthening forward. I strongly recommend that the right calf moves towards the right shin. Allow the right outer buttocks to draw in. Allow the left heel to press on down. So as we continue to take this pose, you're going to see if you can come into your breath. So there's wheels to the pose. There's actually 3 wheels. There's the feet, there's the pelvis, there's the chest, or rather the shoulders. So as you feel into the feet, you feel the feet pressing down. And as you move into the pelvis, you'll notice that the pelvis is in what we call external rotation. There's an external rotation of the right leg to the left as you continue to breathe here. And the chest, or the shoulder girdle region, is in what we call a neutral rotation. So it's just extending, both the arms are lengthening out from the center chest here. We inhale, we lift that left arm up again, and we turn our feet in, and we move to the other side. So what I'm trying to get into in this practice in today's class is the ability to hold a pose. It's not easy to stay in a pose, and most of us are trying to go from pose to pose to pose, always trying to go to different poses. But in today's class, what I am instructing is just the opportunity to just be in a pose. And as you press through your feet, just begin to see that the weight is traveling throughout the feet, especially that right outer foot, that there's weight in that foot, as well as there's weight in the left foot as well. The right calf moves into the right shin, but the right thigh moves back, so the right leg is strong here. So you can even feel this line of energy throughout the right leg and throughout the left leg as well. The left toes are extending forward, the left buttocks is drawing in, and you're lengthening through the left side of the chest. So that's very important here. Usually for most of us, there's a shortening that happens along the left side of the chest here. The right arm is extended up towards the ceiling. Now, as you continue to breathe, you're focusing on the zipping up action from the pubis all the way to the navel, from the navel all the way to the sternum, from the sternum to the crown of the head. Inhale, lengthening up, bending that knee, turning your feet in and stepping your feet back to Tadasana pose. So we come back to Tadasana. And you may notice that this elongation of the body stays in Tadasana pose. Even here, even though we're in the mountain pose, we may feel all of that length that we just created in our Trikonasana pose. So as you feel ready here, let's take those feet wide apart again. So step your feet out. Good. Spin your feet so the right heel lines up with the left arch of the foot. And now, with hands on the hips, just begin to bend into that right knee. So as you bend into that right knee, see that the right knee bends over the second toe. So the right knee is not bending in or it's not bending out. It's just bending directly over the foot. As you bend that knee, once again, the calf is moving towards that shin, right? So that's what creates this bending of the knee. Then the right thigh is releasing down to the mat. So the right inner thigh, the right outer thigh is releasing towards the inner thigh here. You may even begin to walk your toes forward here. Keep pressing through that left heel. Keep spinning the chest here. So keep bending into that knee and keep spinning the chest here. Buttocks is releasing down to the mat. Keep bending into that right knee. Good. We're going to straighten that leg and we're going to turn our right foot in. We'll do the same to the other side. Before we do that, just see that the feet are parallel. And notice the difference between the right leg and the left leg. Just by doing that pose, the right leg feels a little bit shorter than the left leg, just because of the pose. So we turn our feet to the other side so that we get evenness in the body. Spin the right foot in, spin the left foot out. Bend into that left knee. And again, here the hands are on the hips. So with the hands on the hips, the left calf is moving towards the left shin. The toes are lengthening to the front of the mat. The left thigh is releasing down towards the floor. The right leg we're paying attention to, but it's pretty much it's identical to Trikonasana. So the right leg is doing exactly what it was doing a moment ago. The difference is here, the left leg is very different. The left knee is bending directly over those toes. The left buttocks is drawing in. The left thigh is releasing down. So the left leg is very different in this pose. And then from here, just straighten up and then take the toes back towards one another. And we're going to come back to the other side again. So spin both feet over to the right. See that the hands are on the hips to start. See that your right heel lines to the left arch of the foot. So your right foot is pretty much in Trikonasana. Your left leg is in Trikonasana. Only difference is you bend the knee. It's the only difference between Trikonasana and Virabhadrasana is that bent knee in this pose, in at least in the legs. The arms are a little bit different. In the arms, we just extend the arms out to the sides. So the arms, we've already been here before, so we just extend the arms out to the sides. Oftentimes what's recommended in this pose is to lift your right toes up off the mat. When you lift the toes up off the mat, it activates the inner and outer right ankle here. So your left leg stays the same. Your right knee is bending. Both arms are extending or lengthening out to the sides, and your fingers are lengthening out from the center chest here. Good. And allow for that weight to be heavy in that right thigh. Release the right foot down, release the right toes down, and your right side of your hip is lifting off of that right thigh. So you make an angle here. Can you see that? It's like a square at that right knee. And then you straighten here, bring the hands to the hips, and we're going to take the other side of the pose. So we take this pose to build strength in the body. That's primarily the reason why. You could hold this pose you could hold it for 2 to 3 minutes. Some people can even hold it for 5 minutes. So if you really want to build heat and you really want an active pose, you can take this pose for some time. So again, right leg is in Trikonasana, left knee is in Virabhadrasana. So we begin to kind of take the pose here. And I'd recommend floating up those left toes. When the left toes lift up here, once again, it begins to activate the left inner and outer leg. The right leg is turned in. The chest is opening up to the sides, and we're breathing here. So try not to lean forward into that left leg. See that the weight is heavy. See that both buttocks are releasing down here. And then can you soften the chest? Ideally, over time, the eyes begin to turn over those left fingers. The left arm is aligned with the left shoulder. Right arm is aligned with the right shoulder. Straighten through that leg. Hands come to the hips here. And then step the feet together here. And again, we take ourselves into Tadasana. So I don't know about you, but over time, Tadasana begins to feel like we don't have to work as hard to allow the body to remain in this anatomical position. Because we're waking up a lot of the muscles as we do these postures. So when you take Tadasana pose, it feels like the body naturally just lifts up here. So from here, you're going to take the feet wide apart again, and you're going to come into at least in the feet, you're going to come into that Utthita Hasta Padottanasana. So just Utthita Padottanasana or extended feet pose. The feet are parallel, the hands are on the hips, you're breathing here. So again, calves move towards shins, thighs move towards hamstrings. That begins to straighten the legs. The toes are lengthening to the front of the mat. And as you exhale here, begin to release the chest on down and take your hands all the way down towards the mat here. Now, from here, begin to lengthen the chest on forward, lengthen the heart on forward. See that the weight travels from the inner foot to the outer foot here. See that the knees are lifting up. See that the thigh bones are lifting up here. And release the head on down. So as you release the head on down, some students may begin to walk the hands back towards the heels. Some students may just keep their hands right here. Ideally, in this pose, you want to see that over time, maybe you walk the hands back, and you want to feel that once again, your feet are lengthening towards the fronts of the mat, or to the sides of the mat in this case. The feet are lengthening forward. And as you lengthen the feet forward, feel those calves drawing towards those shins. So the knees bend a little bit. Then begin to feel those thighs drawing back towards those hamstrings. So we've been doing this all day. The inner legs are strong here, which means that there's more weight in the outer foot than there is in the inner foot. And then as you continue to breathe here, and this is a very subtle action, but the belly begins to hug in, the pubis draws in, and you can feel as you travel to the back body is growing longer here. Maybe you begin to feel the shoulders moving away from the ears as you release the head on down. Then you'll take the hands forward of the chest. You'll lengthen through the chest, the heart, the sternum here. And you'll begin to heel toe the feet back together. So heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. And eventually, let's find our way up to standing pose, to Tadasana. Okay. One more pose here. Raise the arms up above the head, Urdhva Hastasana arms. As you exhale, bend those knees and find your way into Utkatasana chair pose. So continue to see that those toes are lengthening forward. Continue to feel that those thighs are drawing back. So toes forward, thighs back. The shins again, the calves again are pressing forward as the thighs are drawing down. Keep sinking down into a chair. Lift the chest. Draw the belly in. Draw the pubis up towards the sternum. And as you exhale, hinge at those hips and fold all the way forward into Uttanasana. So maybe here you got a little bit deeper than before. One more time, bend those knees. Inhale, take the arms forward of the chest. Inhale, extend the arms forward. So we take this pose to heat the body up. Thighs are drawing in towards one another, belly's hugging in. Sternum is lengthening towards the navel, towards the crown of the head as you breathe here. And again, lean on forward and release those hands down to the mat. Release on down. Okay, so from here, we're going to come down and we're going to have a seat on the ground. Have a seat. Okay. Now, as you have a seat, you're going to once again hug your knees into the chest and release your black body all the way down on the mat. You're going to take the left knee into the chest, take the left foot, cross it over the right thigh crease, and begin to flex that left foot. Draw the left thigh away from you. So the left outer hip is drawing away as the right thigh is drawing towards you. From here, as you continue to breathe, you're going to take the back of your left leg here. The back of your right leg and hug your right leg in. Now, if you can't hug your right leg in, for whatever reason, you have a couple of options here. You could leave the right foot on the ground, or you could take a strap and place a strap around the back of the leg and hold on to that strap. That's another good variation here. And as you continue to hug in, just let the shoulders release on down. Flex the right toes. Flex the left toes. See that the left outer hip is moving away from you as you continue to feel both shoulders releasing down towards the mat. And then you're going to take the other side. So as you feel ready, you're going to draw this time your left leg in. So your right foot is flexed, your left foot is flexed. See that the right knee draws away from you. See that the right hip draws away from you as you breathe here. Let both outer hips move away as you begin to draw in your left leg in towards the center chest. And then from here, you'll hug both knees into the center chest again. Good. Now, release the feet both down onto the mat. Take your hands, bring your hands in long line of your side body. Draw your left and right shoulders under. Press your feet on down. Inhale. Float the pelvis up. Lengthen the tailbone to the backs of the knees. Allow the shins to move in towards the shoulders. Allow the thighs to move down towards the floor. Keep rolling your left and right shoulder under here as you press down through your feet. So here we're in a pose. This is called bridge pose. This is not an easy pose to take as a beginner, especially for the shoulders, the neck, the chest. So we hold the pose in order for us to develop a sense of awareness. If it becomes too challenging at any time, just lower the pelvis down. You want to see that the toes are lengthening to the front of the mat. You want to see that the calves are moving towards the shins. You want to see that the thighs are moving down towards the hamstrings here. Feel the belly hugging in. Feel the shoulder blades moving into the center chest. Arms are still holding onto the sides of the mat. As you exhale, lower the pelvis down and hug your knees into the chest. Rock the head right and left. Now, one more time, you'll take the feet down to the mat. You'll hold on to the sides of the mat. And as you feel ready, you'll press down through the feet. Draw the pelvis up. So again, feet are lengthening forward, calves are moving towards shins, thighs are moving towards the hamstrings, belly is drawing in, shoulder blades are drawing in towards the center chest. And breathe here. And exhale, softly release the tailbone on down. Now take your arms out to your sides. You're going to take what we call a simple twist here. You're just going to release both feet over to the left. This is called a simple twist. And then you're going to release both knees over to the right. And again, you're going to release both knees over the left here. And you're going to release both knees over to the right. And one more time to the left. We're going to roll on up. We have a few more actions I'd like to take. I'd like you to take your blanket, if you have one. If you don't, it's fine. But if you have a blanket, you're going to take a blanket lengthwise on your mat. Then from here, you're going to sit on that blanket, and you're going to draw your right leg in and bring your right foot to your thigh crease. If your knee is floating, maybe place a block under the knee. If you have a strap, maybe place a strap over that foot. And as you place a strap over that foot, lengthen through the chest, lengthen through the heart, lengthen through the sternum here. So keep drawing the left thigh back, keep drawing the right hip forward. And breathe here. Just feel the length through the body. So as we take this pose, this is called Janu Shirshasana pose. Our legs and our chest are all doing exactly the same actions we've been doing all day. But the difference is we hold this pose, you're paying more attention to your breathing. So even though our legs are still doing exactly the same thing as they were doing before, and our arms, our shoulders are doing the same, we're still allowing for ourselves to release here. So the calf is still, believe it or not, moving towards the shin, even though the thigh is pressing down. The knee has a very, very subtle bend in it. The chest is lengthening forward. The right side of the chest is moving to the left, just so that the chest is in what we call like a neutral position. So by taking the right side of the chest forward, our hips begin to align here. The right knee presses down. And in the right leg, the right femur bone is moving in towards the right hip. The right tibia and fibia are moving in towards the right foot. Now come on up. Take your right leg forward, take your right leg forward, take your left leg in. And again, I'd recommend if the knee is floating to just use a prop here. Place your prop over the foot, lengthen through the chest, and breathe. So again here, this is the nice long deep stretch you'll feel as your toes lengthen to the ceiling. So even here, that right calf is moving towards the right shin, if you can believe that. I know it doesn't make much sense because you would think that your leg is going to straighten all the way, but quite the opposite. As that knee bends just a little bit, you're able to get a further extension through the right rib cage. But the left rib cage also has to lengthen here. So as you press the left femur bone into the left thigh crease, you're going to continue to spin and turn the left chest over to the right foot. All right. Inhale here. There's one more pose. It's called Paschimottanasana. The toes come in between these legs. You'll lengthen the feet on forward, and you'll press through the toes here. So as you lengthen here, you'll notice, and everybody's back is different. Even though we've been practicing yoga for a long time, Doesn't always mean that the flexibility is always there. I mean, over time, and there's been many things, depending on what you do in your life, you'll have tons of flexibility or you won't. It's an anatomical disposition. Obviously, flexibility improves over time, but some people's flexibility is different than others. So as you feel ready, you let the calves draw towards the shins. You let the thighs draw towards the hamstrings. So there is a light bend in those knees, just a light bend. And you lengthen through the shoulders all the way out towards the side ribs. So the shoulder blades are moving down the spine as the chest is lengthening forward. Breathing here. Paschimottanasana is the west facing the east pose. Usually a final pose in most yoga practices. Close the eyes. Alright, let's remove the strap. Let's place our props along our side. You have a blanket to rest the head on. It's often a good idea. So just the head and the neck rest on the blanket. You can take the arms, bring the arms out to the sides. Before you do that, just lengthen the buttocks, flesh forward towards the heels, and then you're going to bring your arms out to the sides. This is called Shavasana. Now, Shavasana is Tadasana pose, just lying on your back. So believe it or not, the body is still in an anatomical position. To a sort, the legs are turned out in external rotation here, but you're still holding many of the traits of the practice. The belly is still releasing down. The chest is still releasing down. The shoulders are still releasing down. And you can feel the palms opening up here. So arms are in external rotation. Legs are in external rotation. We're only going to be here for a few minutes. And close the eyes. And bring your knees to a bent position. And roll the body over onto your side. And press your way up. And find your way back into a seated position. It's always nice to sit up on a blanket. Just gives a little lift to the pelvis here. Good. Take the hands to the center chest. Release the chin towards the chest. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day today. We have practices throughout the day. Once again, we have a 9 a.m., 12 p.m., 3 p.m. class. So lots of classes. I'm also teaching for my company at 7:15 p.m. It's a free class. So if you feel like joining me for that, it's a level 1-2, a little bit more on the challenging side, but a really nice class. So I hope you guys can join me throughout today. If you're not already following me, please hit the like button on the Facebook page. Please consider hitting the subscribe button on the YouTube page. I go by Yoga at Yoga with Jason G. That's Yoga with Jason G. So that's what I'm going by these days. And I wish all of you a beautiful, beautiful rest of your day. Be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. And I will look forward to seeing you all very, very, very soon. So as I usually do to close, I'll just say this. These are a couple ways you guys can help out if you have any interest. Hitting the like button on the video or on the Facebook page, or the heart button really helps me out, helps other people out. I love when I see that, because then I know you guys have been watching the classes. Also checking in, letting me know how you're doing is a great idea. It helps me to know that you guys are doing well, and lets me to see how I can help you guys with your practice. And then sharing the classes as well. I also have a Venmo QR. If you feel like sending any Venmo contributions, I'm always grateful for that. And I go by at Yoga with Jason G. So you can always find me on YouTube if you missed a video on Facebook. And all the videos are in order, and they're all named, so it makes it a lot easier. It's a lot more like easy to search through and stuff. So I wish all of you a great day. Be well, be happy, my friends. Namaste. Thank you guys.